What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, I wanna speak on the subject a lot. I know a lot of people may not appreciate this, but I want to talk about like LeBron James and how LeBron James, in my opinion, was good for the WNBA, right? And the reasons that made LeBron James good for the WNBA also made LeBron James not good for the NBA. And I want to explain that. And so basketball, like during the LeBron James era, in a lot of people's opinion, just really it was boring and it wasn't exciting and it kind of turned off a lot of fans, right? And I even hear like Lakers fans will say, well, we LeBron James is not really a Laker. So as long as LeBron James is playing for the Lakers, we won't you know, we're not really going to be into the Lakers. We'll come back when LeBron James is retired. And you'll hear a lot of Laker fans. I've heard multiple Laker fans say, you know, we wait for LeBron James to leave, then we're gonna come back, right? And so around the league, when you look at how the ratings are down in the NBA, how attendance is down in the NBA, and when you have hardcore basketball fans like myself who are basically like basketball junkies, if you want to watch a good brand of basketball, you're going to turn to um, you're going to turn to the next best option, and that's and that's women's basketball. Like watching the WNBA and the drama surrounding the WNBA, that brings a lot of attention and a lot of eyes, to the WNBA. So that's how I think LeBron James and the leaders of this era has really shifted some of that fan base, because those fans, those basketball fans got to go somewhere. They got to get their fix from somewhere. So if you're not getting it from the NBA, and you're going to get it from the WNBA or college, and even men's college basketball is not what it once was. You don't get to you don't get to know those guys in college like you did back in the day. We used to follow, I followed Patrick Ewing from his freshman year to his senior year. I followed Michael Jordan from his freshman year to his junior year. I followed Len Bias from freshman to Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, all those guys. You follow those guys throughout not just their college career, but then you follow them through the pros, you know. So it's not like that anymore with men's basketball. So when you have guys who like diehard fans, that's a fan base. That fan base has gone somewhere else. And the benefit of that, I think, in my opinion, um, are the women's basketball. And so for people who don't believe that, you're gonna find out like next season, because I think that because this new crop of young NBA ball players that they're ushering in, they play a more exciting style of basketball. They play a more strategic style of basketball, which I believe that's what basketball was missing, like the strategy part of it. Even Kobe Bryant even said the same thing, like the strategy, there's no strategy. You got Luka Doncic running from one 3-point line to the other 3-point line, shooting threes, and then on he go down the other end. He didn't go below that 3-point line because he refused to play defense. So, that's kind of like it's just boring to watch. But then when you look at the WNBA, there's some interest in Caitlin Clark. Then you got some of the drama surrounding Caitlin Clark as far as like how the players are treating her. Because now, even before Caitlin Clark got there, you had Asia Wilson, very good basketball player. You had Sabrina Nescu. What's the other young lady? Brianna Stewart. You had other great ball players in the league. Diana Taurasi. You know, and so the interest now that the WNBA is garnering is because of the fall off, in my opinion, of the NBA. And so once the NBA come back, we'll see if I'm right or not. Like we'll see if that interest still stays there. And I don't think that interest is going. Some of that interest from the WNBA is going to wane off, even with the drama, right? Even with the drama that goes on with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, it's going to kind of fall off. You know, people, people's going to get bored of that, and it'll be back. So, I'm sorry, dang. Now with LeBron James, as far as like how he was, like I said, so he was good for the WNBA in that respect. Now the way he wasn't good for the NBA is like their style of play, moving around from team to team, trying to build, super teams. I think that narrative right there just didn't really hold players, fans' interest. Fans are really more so interested in seeing their star player like endure, like and persevere. For instance, like even when Michael Jordan first hit the league, Michael Jordan got beat up by the Detroit Pistons. He the Celtics beat him up. He didn't have a lot of success against those teams. Magic and Kareem, when they was there, he didn't have a lot of success. But then Mike, he persevered. And then once he learned how to win, then it was his time. And so that just built like it was a buildup, right? But you don't have that no more because when your superstar is not happy, when LeBron wasn't happy in one town, he'd just move to another town and then try to assemble another team. And it wasn't like that. That couldn't hold fans' interest because it wasn't no buildup. Wasn't no it was a buildup, man, and the fans liked that. And so the fans didn't experience that with his generation. Kevin Durant. They didn't experience that with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant went from OKC to Golden State. Then from Golden State, I think he went to Brooklyn. Then from Brooklyn, he went to where is he at now? I don't know where Kevin Durant at now. Oh, in Phoenix. So you don't get to see you didn't get to see Kevin Durant and LeBron James like the best players in the league. You didn't get to see them like persevere, overcome like their rivals or their nemesis around the league. They moved from town to town. And so that storyline for the NBA was not there, and so that's when, the interest just started to go down as far as the NBA, and that's good for the WNBA because now when you have basketball junkies and we was like, well, this is not a good product over here, the NBA. Let me see what's going on at the WNBA, because there's a lot of drama right now in the WNBA. There's a lot of curiosity with Caitlin Clark. So let's see what's going on over there, you know. But now, like I said, you got a new crop of a new generation of ball players coming in, and they're at the beginning of their journeys. And so people are excited about these guys because some of these guys are going to make it, and persevere through their journey, and some of them are not going to persevere through their journey. But either way, diehard basketball fans are going to follow these guys and just see what happens. And so, and with that being said, you're going to get a better product. Whereas though you didn't get that product, that storyline from LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Now you did get. I got to give Steph Curry his credit because you did get it from Steph Curry. You saw Steph Curry come into the league with Golden State, and he didn't take off right away. He had some injuries, um, you know, and people saw, like Golden State at one point in time was even considering they was about to trade Steph Curry to the Milwaukee Bucks. But for some reason, I'm not sure why it didn't go through, but that trade didn't go through. But now look at what happened. So Golden State holds on to Steph Curry, and they go on to win 4 championships. So that fan base, that Golden State fan base, got to see him from his rookie year. They got to see him through his ups and downs, and then they got to see him persevere. Not just the fan base in Golden State, but like across the NBA. And I think those kind of storylines right there are better for the NBA fans, and it keeps NBA fans like on the edge of their seats. It's almost like watching like a thriller. Like you keep people on the edge of their seats and wonder like, oh man, what's going to happen next year? Will they be able to make it next year? Um, will Golden State be able to get past Cleveland? With the team they have assembled. Um, can Golden State beat OKC? That's all the things that happen, and people followed that from season to season. But if you destroy a storyline by moving from team to team and you try to rewrite a story, it just don't have the same hit, the same impact as a dude when you have guys sticking. So all of that was good for the WNBA. The WNBA benefited from, for those guys moving around trying to start super teams. And now, if these young guys don't do it, and I think most of these guys probably, especially the franchise, I'm speaking of franchise ball players, they probably won't move from team to team just because they see the way it affected Kevin Durant's career, his legacy, LeBron James' career, and his legacy. And so those guys just gonna ride it out, especially if they're in a good spot where they can build. They're gonna ride it out and see what they can. They saw what happened to Steph Curry. So if you're looking at Steph Curry career and LeBron James or Kevin Durant, personally, I want I want Steph Curry, his career, because I'm gonna watch that because I want to see like if he can persevere and overcome all those different hurdles and obstacles throughout his career. And so that's why I say LeBron James, because he kind of had a negative effect on the NBA, it had a positive effect on the WNBA. And so that's my take on it. With that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, leave a message, and I'll check you all out in the next episode. Peace.